Happy Friday, everyone. We're one sleep away from college football Saturday, which means it's time to make some picks. Last week, I bounced back, went 5 of 6 on my picks for the week. Now we're looking to keep that momentum rolling a little bit and improve on my 18-14 season record. I checked out all the college football matchups for this week, and somehow fate decided it. We're picking all road teams, so let's get to it. We'll start out in Austin as Oklahoma State visits Texas. I like the Cowboys getting 5 points on the road here. Their defense is going to bring an element to the game that Texas really hasn't been tested in thus far. The Cowboys have only allowed 91 rushing yards per game, and if they can really limit Bijan Robinson, then I see it being a possible tough day for Texas. This will be a tight one, but I think it'll be at least a 3-point game, which should mean the Cowboys cover, if not outright win. We're then going to take a little road trip north to see Michigan State at Indiana. The Spartans have covered in 5 of their 6 wins this season, and I think they'll be able to cover the 4.5 on the road, even against a tough Indiana team. They'll be looking to get a big win here to lead into their bye week before a potential undefeated versus undefeated matchup with the Wolverines on the 30th. Next, we're going to head out into the middle of nowhere for Fresno State visiting Wyoming. Wyoming may have a better record on the year, but I really don't think they've played adequate competition, unlike the Bulldogs. The Bulldogs dropped a tough one on a road trip to Hawaii, and their only other loss on the season is against Oregon. I think their explosive offense will help them easily cover the 3.5-point spread. To wrap up the night, I've got 3 picks in the primetime 7:30 slot, starting in SEC country with Ole Miss versus Tennessee. The Vols have looked good over the past 2 weeks, but I just think the Ole Miss offense is going to go in there looking to blow the doors off of Tennessee. A one-loss Alabama means that if Alabama somehow drops a game to Arkansas down the road, Ole Miss is still in contention for that SEC West title. So I think that Ole Miss is going to go in there looking for a statement after a close game versus Arkansas, and I think they'll easily cover the 2.5 points on the road in Rocky Top. Next, we're heading out to Pac-12 country to watch Stanford take on Washington State. Even though the teams have the exact same record on the season, I believe that Stanford has played a much tougher schedule than Washington State. Even though Stanford has dropped games to Arizona State and UCLA in the past 2 weeks, I believe that playing these top 25 caliber Pac-12 teams will help push them over Washington State at the end of the day. And I believe they'll be able to cover the 1-point spread on the road. For my final pick of the night, we're heading out to Norman for TCU versus Oklahoma. And I'm going to be honest, I have not been impressed with Oklahoma so far this year. If it wasn't for a touchdown run on the last play of Red River, we would be looking at an Oklahoma team that is 1-6 against the spread for the whole season. TCU is getting 13.5 points on the road, and unless Caleb Williams comes in and saves the rest of the Sooner season, there's no reason that the Horned Frogs shouldn't be able to cover. Now it's time for a first for my brand, and that's going to be highlighting a matchup that I'm super excited to watch this week, and it just so happens to be the game that I get to go watch in person. This week, the number 1 ranked Georgia Bulldogs are taking on the number 11 Kentucky Wildcats in Athens, and this game is big. Kentucky has one of the best offensive lines in the nation, and they've been riding the super senior wave to a very impressive 2021 campaign so far. The rest of Kentucky's season looks very winnable, to the point where I believe they'll finish the year at an 11-1 record. But that means they're still going to take a loss in Athens. I think that the atmosphere that Stanford Stadium brings on a college football Saturday is just going to be too much for the Wildcats, who have played 5 of their last 6 in Lexington at Kroger Field in front of that home crowd. The 21.5-point spread that Georgia has going in favor of them is exactly why I didn't want to put this on my pick list, because these games are just a little bit too close to call, and when you have such a large spread, I don't know if I'd lean with the dogs to cover, even though I am a Georgia fan. Most of my friends say I am the most pessimistic Georgia fan, but I've dealt with hope like this in the past, and I just don't want to set myself up for another heartbreak here. But I'm still really excited for another top 15 matchup that I'll get to go attend in between the hedges. SEC Nation and College Game Day are in town, and this is going to be a great game day atmosphere once again in Athens. You can be sure to hear more about my experience at the game when I drop my rankings video next week. I want to give a huge thank you to all of you that stuck to the end and watched the whole video. If you like what you saw, like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss any future episodes of Beez Kneez Sports Talks. If you have any alternate takes or any picks you want to let me know of, be sure to drop them in the comment section below, and I'll make sure to reply to all those that I can.